Hi everyone and welcome to morning coffee break. It's 38 degrees out here right now. And I hear the train, y'all. Don't believe it. I'll show this real quick. I didn't cover it last night. It's like a few leaves have been, the cold's got to a few of these leaves right here. They're okay though. I heard the train about an hour ago, and I didn't think we would hear it. Now, hopefully, sounds like it's getting closer. We'll have some relaxing time while the train's blowing its horn. Okay, everybody, I believe I'm going to pause it now and go inside and get ready for story time. Okay, back in, got me a fresh cup of coffee. You don't have to drink coffee for morning coffee break. You can drink whatever you like in the mornings. It could be Mountain Dew, you know. Just have one with us. Okay, let's see. What were we having tonight? Let's see if I can see anything. I don't know where she put it. I'm not going to dig through all this either, so I thought she put it up on top here. There it is. Move this. What do you think it fall? Yes. We're having, this is that cube steak from Aldi. It's Black Angus. And believe me, this stuff is so tender already. And tonight I'm going to be making my, if you'll look in my playlist in my Cook With Me's, I always called it cube steak casserole. Really, it's basically steak and gravy in the crock pot. Oh, Lord, y'all, it smells up the house, and it smells so good you get hungry. You're hungry half the day when you smell it. But, yeah, we're going to have this and some mashed potatoes. You're always going to have mashed potatoes and gravy. And some of those crescent rolls we got for 33 cents, those Pillsbury crescent rolls, and a vegetable, another vegetable, maybe carrots or something. Put that back in there. So that's what's for dinner. Okay. And was there anything else? I don't think so. So, on today's story time, this is in Michigan. We lived in Taylor, Michigan, and hockey was big up there. So I had to be, part of all the kids played hockey. So naturally I had to learn how to play hockey. And we would, they even had like leagues and stuff. I'm sure they probably still do. But I didn't think I was quite good enough for that yet when I first started. And I played everything else though, like football, baseball, basketball, anything. But what we do is in the winter, there was a pond nearby, and we would go over there. We went over there, and I don't know if it was if it was like a public property or what, but nobody ever said anything. They knew we were playing hockey. What we did was we got some wooden posts, like probably this big around. And in the summer, we went out there and waded out there. It wasn't very deep. We waded out there and we drove them into the bed, into the ground, enough far apart to where it would be good for a goal, the hockey goal. Because when you're on ice, you can't. It's hard to make a goal. If anybody that lives up north, they probably know with their kids or stuff, or if they've played, it will move around. If it's something on top of the ice, you can't get it. It doesn't work right. So we would drive those on one end. We would put two of them, and then, hey, honey. And then on the other end, we'd put two more, for the other side. And then that way in the wintertime, when the pond froze over, it would, you'd have those the posts in there frozen into it, and it would be, extra, strong and secure to where you couldn't just knock it over or anything. because we'd slam into them and everything. But we would play, as long as that pond was frozen, we were playing. Not every single day, but a lot of days out of the week, maybe 5 or something like that, because we didn't have too much to do in the winter as far as sports. So that was what we did. But then in the summertime, we still liked to play hockey, and what we would do is change over to like we would go to the school. We had a school across the street from us, and we would all meet over at the school and use the paved areas, for our hockey, court or whatever you want to call it. And so when we played that, we didn't use wooden hockey sticks because it would ruin them pretty quick on the asphalt. So we bought these, I don't know if they probably still have them, these plastic ones that you put up. They're on the end of a wooden stick, but they're plastic, and you could heat them up. You could heat them up and curve the end of it however much you wanted to. You can make, the more curved, the better lift you had, it seemed like, on it, from what I remember, on the puck. But so we were back there playing, and you could hit those, and what we used was tennis balls in the summer. We used tennis balls to play hockey in the parking lot. And I was the goalkeeper one time, and this big old guy, he was older than us. It was my buddy's brother, and he was like 4 or 5 years older than all of us. We were probably 13, something like that. And he hit it right in front of me, hit the tennis ball, and it must have been going over 100 miles an hour. And it hit me right here, right in my goozle. And I couldn't breathe hardly for a few minutes. I mean, it really hit me hard. Immediately I had a big round red place right here. And I thought I wasn't going to be able to breathe because it started swelling up, But there wasn't much could be done about it. I don't remember if I don't think I went to the emergency room on this one. But you would get pretty beat up playing hockey and stuff, especially when you have in the winter time. We didn't wear full pads, but like we'd have the gloves and knee pads and elbow pads, and I don't think we had any helmets on or anything. But I got hit young. I was hurt for a while. It took quite a while, like a month, before it started getting better. But it was really sore after the next few days. But at first it was pretty swollen, and I had a hard time, like I said, breathing. But I remember, though, we would go out there. It was so cold. I had, a pair of figure skates, and I had, a pair of hockey skates. If we just wanted to skate, it was better to use the figure skates, it seemed like. But I remember it being so cold, I would have like 2 or 3 pairs of socks on and stuff. But when you would change from your shoes into the skates, my foot would end up like half numb. And of course it didn't get much better, because I don't remember what the temperatures got there. It was really low, below zero, I'd say. But we always stayed busy, all of us kids. We didn't stay inside. I didn't hardly watch any TV. I would go in the evenings and watch it with my dad, whatever he watched, But we didn't, there wasn't no games, that you play on TV or anything. It just, you had to use your imagination and things, to go out and play. And sports was an easy one, And that's about the time they came along with that Nerf football. And immediately we were crazy over it because you could throw it a mile. And we played a lot of football after that with those Nerf footballs. See, when your hands are smaller, when you're younger, and it's hard to throw a regular football. Long distances anyway. But my hands were kind of small anyway. I don't know if they still, I guess you'd say they are, but my fingers weren't that long. to grab a hold of it, you know, in a basketball either. I couldn't palm a basketball either. But that's today's story. And I sat here, I don't know, I wasn't here, I don't guess, but I got to thinking, I was watching something else, and tomorrow's just going to be in the same place in Taylor, Michigan. And then I got one for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I was watching, I think it was Joy Stewart. She tells stories of her childhood and stuff in the Appalachians. And it reminded me of something when I was listening to hers, and I wrote down several things that I remembered right then. So I'll turn this over to Saturday. But yeah, there's more in my head somewhere. Something has to make it click to where I remember stuff, because there's just too much happened in my life. Because my dad worked for the VA hospital, and he would move, you know, he made it almost to the top. I think he got to like a GS-13, and I think a 15 is the top one. But he would move to get, you know, they would give him a promotion if he moved to, you know, transferred. So we moved the most we stayed anywhere was 2 years, but usually we'd move about once a year. And we lived in like 9 different states, I believe it was. I'd have to count and make sure, but something like that. But anyway, so that, you know, when you're the new kid everywhere you go, and we would also move in the same state sometimes. Like we lived in Erie, Pennsylvania, and then we lived in Monroeville before we moved down here. But yeah, and sometimes it'd be in the same state, you know, that we'd move, but I still had to change schools, and that was the roughest thing. You know, being the new guy. You know, if you move from up north to down south, they say you got a northern accent, your clothes are funny, blah blah blah. And then if you move from, you know, down south up north, it's the same way, you know, same thing. But you know, by the time I made good friends, it was time to move usually, and that wasn't good. That wasn't a good way to grow up, really. And I'm sure probably my sister and brother probably agree. My brother, though, is 7 years younger than me, and he was born in California when we lived there, and he didn't have to move as much, obviously, because it was 7 years before that he wasn't around, so he didn't have to move as much. But I don't think he liked it either. But I think that's going to be it for today. I don't know what I'll get into. I definitely have enough for tablet time if I'm feeling up to it. I'm not quite as sore down there today, but it's hard to tell until we change the bag on me how it looks, because you can't see it good. But I do feel a little bit better though today, so maybe I'll get a little bit more done. I didn't get much done yesterday. I just didn't feel like it. I just, you know, it hurt to get up, it hurt to bend over, it hurt to do anything. So I basically stayed on the couch most of the day. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's morning coffee break. Please press that like button, please, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that so you get all my videos as soon as they come out. Everybody, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you later on. I'll do something. You know me. Bye-bye, everybody. God bless.